Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Well.
Yeah.
All is well when we do these things
Yeah. Why is that?
because I don't know, man. We've done already 70 of these and or 71 of these, and it's just uh, I just know we're gonna crush it like we always do. I guess that confidence is built in. Um, Getting you know existing clients and potential clients that listen to these that tell us that it made a difference is a big deal. Preparing for it prepares me, keeps me with the right mindset and health and just mindset. And again, preparing with you helps, right? It helps keep you sharp, helps me get some additional life coaching, et cetera. But no, I mean, I don't know. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah. No. Everything you said there makes sense for sure. I think it's having the reminders of what this is all about. We're talking about today positive self-talk, practicing positive self-talk, and we forget so easily to do this, and it makes all the difference. So when we're doing a podcast about it, we're preparing, reviewing, talking about it, and it makes you feel good.
Well, we talked about the title of what today should be, but you actually had the perfect title.
I did.
Yeah,
What was it?
we did look at the magic of positive self-talk.
Oh yeah.
It is
It's all magic.
It's all magic.
It's all magic.
It's all magic. Okay, so to recap, this is going to be 7 segments. I don't know how many podcasts we're going to do all 7 segments in, but there's 7 powerful creator exercises. We're all creators. We're creating a life for ourselves, creating just everything we touch. We're creating, and this is the 7 powerful, creative exercises that when you really practice it, think about it, and being mindful of it, magic happens. Your dreams, your goals, the reality you wished for, and will happen. We've seen it happen with ourselves. We've seen it happen with clients. We've heard countless stories online and other podcasts and so on. So it does work. It does work if you put in the work. And it's not a lot of work. And again, my favorite analogy is my former life of not doing this was way more work. Way more work.
The thing is, you were doing all of this before, but you were just doing it the other way. So it just proves to, it shows that you're creating it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's quickly recap. Segment 1 was power of accountability. And just like you just mentioned, I was creating my own negativity, just stress, anxieties, non-confidence, lots of doubts in everything, in career, in personal health, in relationships, and what a difference, a few months made, which is now a few years. And anyway, so being accountable, taking accountability of where you're at, why you're in the position you're in today is that first step. We talked about it in the previous segment. If you're jumping on now on segment 2, you should listen to segment 1 first, which was podcast what?
71.
71.
Or was it 70? I think it might have been 7.
Yeah. Well, you guys find it. It was the power of accountability. So 70 or 71, so 1 or 2 behind this. And so today we're going to talk about the magic of positive self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we talking about this here? Why is it segment 2?
Well, I mean, I don't think the order really matters. They all are laws of the universe, and we do all these things, right? There's positive self-talk and there's negative self-talk. It's a there's two of everything in the universe. So if you're going to do negative self-talk, then the universe is going to bring you negative things. I don't think any of us really want negative things. So that's why it's so important to practice positive self-talk. And it is a practice because we are really just born into a negative mindset. Unfortunately, even if we have these amazing parents and all this, you still go to school, you still have your outside environment, you still have friends that might be negative. And we're bombarded with a lot of negativity. The news, the war, the stocks, the economy, all this stuff, right? So we have to practice the opposite of that. It's like working out. You're not working out 24 hours a day, but if you're working out 1 hour a day, then that goes a long way. So this is kind of the same, philosophy.
Right. Before we kind of jump into what are you mentioned some examples of negative self-talk, right? You talk yourselves into that you're in a bad economy, that the weather sucks, sports sucks, whatever. What else? What else have you heard?
Well, I think the biggest thing I hear, and I sometimes have these thoughts, is I'm not where I want to be, right? Let's say, for example, the business doesn't have as many clients as I wanted to have. Or, let's take another example. I'm 30 pounds more than what I want to be. Or I'm not where I want to be in my career. Or I'm not where I want to be in my relationship. This not enough or not there yet. And it's a big one because, again, it's ingrained into us as far as not being a very patient species, right? If you take a look at any other species out there on Earth, whatever it may be, do you think they ask themselves or have thoughts of, I'm not where I want to be yet? Like, does a crocodile say, I'm just not where I want to be yet? I wish I was further down the river and I was eating this animal. Like no, it doesn't have those thoughts. So we are the only species that put all this pressure on ourselves to be something else. And that creates this circuitry of negative thoughts.
Right.
And when we keep having these thoughts of, I'm not where I want to be yet, you can take it one of two ways. You can turn that into something positive. Well, okay, if you're not where you want to be yet, what are you going to do about it right now? Not tomorrow, right now. And this is where the accountability piece kicks in. Or you could be negative about it and be like, well, I'm not where I want to be and it's too hard. And what am I going to, that this is a year down the road and I would rather just not do anything and just maybe watch TV or something.
Right. Or even worse, in this downward spiral of things are only going to get worse.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The negativity builds up. It takes momentum. It takes big time momentum. It's so easy to get into a negative funk. Like something could happen to you and you can spend 2 days ruminating about it and put yourself in this low state of energy. Next thing you know, now you're missing a couple of workouts. And now you're thinking about, oh, well, I missed a couple of workouts too. What's the point? You're going to have thoughts about what's the point? This is too hard. Can I even do this? And all of a sudden now you miss an entire month or two of workouts, all because you let the negative thoughts escalate.
Right.
So this is why practice. It is all about practice. Positive self-talk makes all the difference in your life and where you're going to be right now.
Let's talk about a few things and then maybe role play a little bit on some of the things you brought up because it's so common to hear some of the examples that you shared. But let's talk about the first step on fixing negative self-talk and creating imagined positive self-talk.
The nice thing about the first step about everything is awareness. So regardless of what area in life you're trying to work in or on, you have to bring awareness to that situation. So that's where the accountability again kicks in. And It's really doing an inventory and being aware of what's going on. What are the thoughts that I'm having? On average, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. We've talked about this before, and like 80, 90% of them are repetitive. So being aware of what those negative thoughts are and seeing what can I do to remove some of them. Okay, I'm not saying remove all of them, because you're not going to remove all of them. But if you're having 5,000 of the same thought and you're aware of it, now you have a conscious choice to make. Do I really want to have 5,000 of these negative, low vibration, low energy thoughts? Or do I just want to maybe entertain it once in the morning, get it out, and that's it? Not think about it the rest of the day, and use that energy, that space, that mental space, the extra 4,999 thoughts of space you've created to use something else, for something else.
Right.
And that something else usually is an idea that you haven't thought of yet. So really quieting your mind by practicing positive self-talk. And the third thing, which we're not probably going to cover today in detail, but this is where you pair it with mindfulness, meditation, or what we're talking about here is awareness. Step one is always awareness. So bringing awareness to the thoughts, sitting for 5-10 minutes, do it in the morning. That's usually the best. Or do it at the end of your day before going to bed, doing an entire inventory of what was everything I was thinking today. Okay, well, I was negative between 12 and 12:30 because I was thinking of a presentation that I had to do at 2, and, I was worried, I was anxious about it. So, okay, did I need to be worried or anxious about it? Well, no, because the presentation went great. So
Right.
what was the point of me entertaining 30 minutes, 5,000 negative thoughts about it? Well, there really wasn't a point to it. So can I do better next time about that?
Right. Right.
So awareness.
Yeah. To me, awareness is I don't know we're using the word magic, but it is a magical first step. Just being able to see it is a big deal, because people do live in this negative funk, and they're just not aware of it. But it's just, screw this, screw that, and I'm just this way, and I can never be that way, and I can never get what they have, and and they're just always in this negative funk, and they don't even realize that they're doing it. So awareness is such a big first step of, wait, maybe I am more negative than I need to be, or any type of negativity, and forget. Well, we'll get to gratitude, but how good life is, and the fact that they get to do these things is a gift. So how do you, okay, so I'm aware that I have a lot of negative thoughts. Again, it's a Cleveland Clinic study. They did it. I mean, everyone has 60,000 thoughts a day. 80% of them are negative. And I shouldn't say everyone, their study showed 80% are negative, and 80% of those are repetitive. So that's a lot of negative, repetitive thoughts throughout the day. So how do you challenge those negative thoughts?
I think it's really as simple as being aware of them and then challenging them. Can I change the thought? Well, what can I change this thought into? So give me an example. Like, okay, the weather sucks. Like, and you're driving for like 20 minutes in this weather. Like, you have a choice. Are you gonna think about how shitty the weather is and then roll it into, oh, you got to do this in the shitty weather, then you got to go run to do this in the shitty weather? Or are you going to change it where, well, guess what? Like, I have a car. Like, I can make this decision to take care of these chores and go to the grocery store and buy food and cook dinner. And I get to do all of this stuff. So gratitude is a big piece, because we're so like spoiled, right? As a society, like we think like we should have all of this stuff.
Right.
Right. Well,
There's kids in Africa.
there's kids in Africa. There's a war in Ukraine, and people are scared that if they walk to the grocery store, they might get killed. Like, you don't have that thought. You're worried about a cloudy day, So it really is. It's challenging ourselves.
Right. There's a saying, whatever you're complaining about, someone else dreams of having.
Yeah, and the thing is, we know all this. Is as soon as you talk about this gratitude, this magic of gratitude, now all of a sudden you feel better. You're like more relaxed. Now all of a sudden you're not thinking about it's a cloudy day outside right now. Like you're grateful that, you know what, tonight you get to sleep under a warm blanket with a pillow under a roof.
Right.
Is the weather really, like, is it really that bad? No.
It's not really that bad. Sure. So you also talked about affirmations. Give a few examples of how to practice this positivity.
Yeah, I mean, there's many different ways of doing affirmations. You could look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am great, I am kind, I am generous. You know, all the qualities that are inside of you, remind yourself, because we forget. Again, there's so many outside distractions that can load our mind with these negative thoughts, and we have the power to change those thoughts by speaking them. And of course, journaling and writing them is big too. Also, surrounding yourself with positive people that don't talk about, you know, the weather, but instead talk about, you know, how grateful they are for their kids and their family, and this person's healthy, and we just celebrated another birthday, and Thanksgiving was great, and Christmas is around the corner, and we get to buy our kids presents and create this atmosphere. So surrounding yourself with positive people, listening to, you know, positive books and stories, and ultimately we have control most of the time of what we digest. So it's practicing this.
Right.
So,
and this, again, that flipping the script on self-doubt is a big one, right? The I can't, and I'm not going to be able to just flip it into that positive affirmation of I am capable, I can, because I've seen people in way worse physicians than me do it. And it's possible. Anything's possible. We've seen it.
Look, anything's possible. And if you're doubting yourself, ask yourself this question. Well, if someone had a gun to your head and said you had to do this, would you be able to do it?
Of course.
You would be able to do it. So where's this doubt coming from? It's just some sort of mental chatter. Yeah, it's a mental chatter that is there. Okay, it's fine. It's there. We all have some doubts. But the question is, are you the doubt, or are you just hearing a little voice that is the doubt? What's the truth? What's the truth? Are you the doubt, or are you just hearing a little bit of doubt? If you know that you're just hearing a little bit of doubt, well, then it's very easy to tell yourself that, okay, that's just something my mind is saying, and I can choose to entertain it, or I can create some action.
How many stories have we heard of you know, athletes being cut from teams that end up becoming professional athletes, right? They didn't use it as a crutch to say, hey, I'll never succeed because my coach told me I won't, or whatever else. But they absolutely turn it around, right? Or, you know, students finally waking up and saying, all right, like, this is my life. I'm going to study. and become doctors and lawyers and so on. Yeah, it's this self labels and self, even societal, labels, right? The Jeremy is the shy kid and is now doing 70 podcasts, right? Like, I'm just saying, it's societal labels, self labels, but we've seen a million stories of people overcoming these, what seem to be easily somebody can use as a crutch, use it as internal motivation, and flip the script on negativity to positive.
Yeah, because that's called, you're not going to let someone else dictate and control your life and your dreams. And it's
because they try, because they're the sick ones. You know?
Yeah, and well, yes, but at the same time, it's knowing what you have control of. And this control is so big because it also helps with realizing what you don't have control of and letting go. So, for example, the economy, war, this, that. ultimately, if you sit and you ask yourself, can you control that? Do you have the power to control that? And the answer is, you don't have power to control it as a whole, but you do have power to control in how you react to it. And guess what? If 7 billion people reacted to it differently, it would all be gone. There would be no war, pollution, starvation, any of that. So we can control the outside environment by controlling our inside environment first. It's 99.9999% inside will fix the outside.
Deep.
Truth.
How does one practice this mindfulness, which also leads to awareness and so on? So what are some best practices?
I think best practices is reminders, and reminding yourself daily, even hourly, even every 10 minutes, that you are not your thoughts. You do not have to entertain these thoughts. You can be aware of them, and then you can decide, I'm going to think a different way. And that was me. That was my great epiphany moment, was when I realized that I was not my thoughts, that all these thoughts that I was having, they just came forward one day sitting, just quietly in the sauna. And I saw that, okay, like I have the power to not entertain these thoughts. And I made a decision then that, would I be perfect and do it all the time? I don't think that's possible. But can I practice it 90% of the time, 60% of the time, 70% of the time, and get better at it, like lifting weights, like working out, like running, all that? Yes. So it is a muscle. It is a mental muscle. And we need to also be gentle with ourselves, because again, if we're judging ourselves that, I was so negative and I blew up on that person and the conversation was horrible. Well, again, what did you learn from it? Something negative or something positive? Which direction do you want to go? And just move forward.
100%. It's your reaction to everything. And again, this is a journey, not a destination, and it's not going to be, you're not going to flip the switch and practice, positive self-talk perfectly tomorrow and have perfect awareness and whatever else. But it's a journey. It's a step-by-step catching yourself in specific situations. It's not going to go right all the time. And again, that's positive affirmation as well. Is, okay, a negative thing happened. Am I going to sulk on that? And is it going to blow up into more bad things? Or did I just learn from it and it's not going to necessarily happen again? And what positivity can I take from that? And even if it's I reacted wrong and I'm sorry, and to feel good and to truly learn from it is to take that accountability, learn from it, move on in a positive way. That's the magic.
That's the magic. And also it's a great reminder to remind ourselves that don't take anything personally, because what's going on inside someone else is totally different than what's going inside of you. And they're dealing with their own thoughts in their own environment, in their own life. And if they react to you a certain way, it doesn't mean that they're trying to maliciously hurt you. So don't take anything personal.
I'm going to skip to self-compassion, because not just apologizing to somebody else for reacting in a wrong way, but having compassion to yourself to literally just be like, man, it's fine. You got this. And moving on and apologizing to yourself, really, to say, oh, all right, that was for instant gratification. I'm not going to deal with it. That doesn't make me feel better. I'm going to do things that make me feel better and move on and have some self-compassion.
Yeah. And the thing is, without failure, we beat ourselves up, and we need failure, because without failure, there's no growth. There's no evolution. And we're all here to grow and become, wiser human beings. And it's okay. It's okay if something goes wrong, because again, that's the seed of growth and greatness comes from that seed.
Especially if you're focused on the solution. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, that's it right there. That's taking accountability. That's taking positive self-talk. So let's say you failed at something, whatever. You did a presentation and it was just totally wrong. Well, chances are that you pulled like so many things out of there that could be better the next time. Let's say the presentation went well. You might stop right there from your growth. You might be like, I crushed it. Like, I don't need to do any better. And then your second one might not be as good as you thought. Okay.
Right.
Versus, okay, this presentation did not go well. Well, I'm going to take accountability for it. Right. And I'm going to be positive about it because this is what I can pull from it and become better next time and then crush it the next time. So accountability, positive self-talk, it's literally the antidote for so many things. And there's really, again, there's no failure. There is no failure.
Let's talk about changing should to could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you say, oh, I should do this, I should do that, it's almost like it sounds negative. It's like something that you dread to do, like, oh, I should go to the gym, but it sucks. The weather sucks. I got so many things to do. Versus if you say like, well, I could go to the gym. It's more like a question mark. I could go to the gym, and now it's followed by, if I could go to the gym, then maybe I should just do it. Just go. Oh, it's like a little magical shit.
Yeah, because should definitely feels negative. It definitely feels like you have to, and could and get to are just such a mental difference maker.
Right.
So the focusing on solutions is a big one, and that visualization of success. Just the keeping your eyes on the prize vision, because achieving goals, achieving dreams is not necessarily easy, and it's not all positive. Negative things might happen, right? Or they will happen. No one has this straight line of growth or success. It looks like that on the outside, but there's so much, speed bumps on the road and hurdles that you got to jump through, and 2 steps back before 3 steps forward. I mean, we see it everywhere. The personal transformations, businesses, relationships. You see it across every single thing, especially of anything that has value.
Mm-hmm.
There's a road to it. So how do you keep the focus on success? Well, that's what's important, is to keep focused on success. But how do you do that?
Well, it's got to be internal. It's how do you feel about yourself when you go to bed at night? How do you feel about yourself lately? What's important in your life? What really has the most meaning and value? Like for me, it's my son. Did I operate today where he would be proud? And that's how I judge myself and my days. That's what's important. You can build and have all the holes.
Nathan's your why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely a huge part of it. And I think most of our whys is how we're remembered in the legacy that we leave behind. That stays on earth forever. That's timeless. That's the eternal, right? That's where there is no death. If you're remembered for 600 years, then aren't you still there?
You talked about the universe and how vast it is, and how it's 1 billion years old, and it's going to be another 1 billion years old, and we're just such a small speck. 13 billion. Whatever.
A lot of billions.
A lot of zeros. And how we're just a small speck in it, and hopefully we'll have future lives left. And at the end of the day, when you think about it, that we're just such a small speck, and we're really here to have authentic joy. And that we're just, that we're really here to have authentic joy and happiness and positivity. That's helped me when I think about that. Do you use that actively?
Yes, for sure. I also, what helps me is understanding that there's never been a day in my life that has never not happened in today, like right now. Every day, every moment is always right now in the presence, and the presence holds the key. So, how much energy do you spend thinking about the past or the future? And that pulls you away from the beauty of the now and the present moment. Because in the present moment, you can have compassion for someone, you can understand someone, you can understand the beauty of everything because it just is. And what pulls us away from that is thinking about the future too much and the past, which ultimately, look, it always happens right now.
Right.
Like if you're thinking about tomorrow's meeting, well, tomorrow's meeting, it's good to prepare, but to always think about it, it's kind of a waste of energy.
And stopping you from maximizing today.
And stopping you from maximize the only day that's ever important, which is right now. There's no other day that's more important right now because it's the only thing that exists. Nothing else exists than right now, right?
Man, that's really deep, and that was really powerful. Like I almost got goosebumps as you were talking about that.
Because when we actually think about that, it's super powerful. This is the only moment in life that exists for everybody. There's nothing else. And there never will be anything else. Never. Because even tomorrow is always going to happen in the present moment. So why not maximize the present moment? And this is where practicing positive self-talk will help you maximize the present moment and therefore maximize your life and therefore live with less stress and anxiety, because stress and anxiety is always past and always future. It's never present. If you're in the present moment and you're in a conversation with someone and you guys are talking about what's real, Christmas is coming up or kids or life and all this, you're probably not very anxious or nervous because you're present in the moment.
We talked about surrounding yourself with positive people, uplifting. Talk about practicing positivity in a journal.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because I think everyone would admit, and not every, I should say everyone, but the majority of people don't journal or don't journal enough. And even though they feel like journaling helps, they still don't do it enough. So what are your quick?
Yeah, well, journaling brings awareness to your thoughts. So bring awareness to everything that went well for you during the day and everything that you accomplished and the conversations that you had. And you'll see that most of your day has actually been really super positive. You know, fortunately, sometimes one negative thing happens. And again, we think about that negative. Yeah, so actually journaling the negativity out of your body works. And this helps right before bed. So again, let's say something negative happened to you. You were in a conversation that should have went better, could have went better. And you're thinking about it all night and it keeps you up. Well, if you write it down, chances are it leaves your body and your mind and now you can sleep easily.
Right.
So journaling has huge benefit.
And the topics that we always tell our clients to the top 3 that they should journal about is what did I do well that day? Or what went well? What didn't go so well? And what or who do I need in my life? Getting help and getting support is absolutely okay. And sometimes the negativity arises from, and the stress, anxieties, negativity, etc., comes from worrying about something that maybe you shouldn't be doing. Is the point. So who can you get help or to get you past these speed bumps and hurdles that have there been speed bumps or hurdles in your life up to now, and who can help you accomplish it? Is it a business mentor? Is it a nutritionist? Is it a personal trainer? Is it, family counseling? Whatever it is, it might be who can help you get through it. SMART goals, attainable goals. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have these dreams of private jets and Lamborghinis and they forget that there's a lot of steps sometimes in between. They don't set attainable goals, and that causes a lot of negativity and negative thoughts.
Yeah, no, smart goals are great because they help with momentum and confidence. So let's say you set one SMART goal every quarter, you hit 4 a year, and after 3 years, you've hit like these 12 goals that are just incredible. Well, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to go through this wall, right? It's just something huge and big, and you got to climb over it. And now you're ready for it because build yourself up. You're stronger, you're mentally stronger from setting all these specific goals. If you wouldn't have set these goals, then you look at that wall and you're just like, whoa, and you turn around and you go backwards. Well, now you're ready to go through it.
Nice. Let's role play a few before we end this. We have a few minutes.
Okay.
So my negative thought is, oh man, I got to go to this Christmas party and I don't know that anyone likes me and I'm shy and I don't know. I just don't want to do it.
You don't know if anyone likes you. Do you like yourself?
I do like myself.
What do you like about yourself?
Man, I like the family I built. I like the business I built. I like relationships I built.
Okay, so you like the relationships you build. So you're good with relationships, right? Because relationships are tough to build, right? So what sort of things have you offered to these relationships that you build? What sort of quality?
Humor, intelligence, perspective, wittiness.
Okay, yeah, those are great qualities that are awesome to have. So if let's say you're going to a party and someone starts a conversation with you and they're funny, they're witty, they're a good listener. Would you want to be in front of a person like that? Would you want to be at a party with someone like that?
I would.
Okay, so why would someone not want you at that party? If those are all the qualities that you offer.
Right on.
And also you can have fun with it. All those qualities that you just listed, what if you just concentrate on just playing this game in those qualities and seeing how you can improve yourself in this party? Just be funny. Go to the party and be funny and see how you do.
Right.
Be witty. Treat it as a game.
That you could win or lose, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there is. Obviously, there is no losing. Yeah.
Okay. We talked about it a little bit, but the weather sucks. There's war everywhere. The economy sucks.
Yeah, that's a big one. Again, that goes back to,
if I have one that I keep trying to put the switch on positive self-thoughts, like that's it. I definitely get caught in the news and sports, weather.
Yeah. And that's where, just drawing a circle on a sheet. And in this circle, you write out everything that you can control. Everything. Your workouts, your running, your kindness to your family, how many calls you made today, the podcast you're doing today. You put that in your circle and you check it off that these are the things that I'm controlling. And then outside of your circle, all the things that you listed, the weather, all this, all that. And then you look at the circle at the end of the night and you see what you did in the circle and how that made you feel. And you'll see that again, I was great to my family. I did a podcast. I worked, I exercised, I ran, and you'll feel better about yourself. We can't control what we can't control. Why are we even trying to?
Right. What else?
I think we did a great job covering it. And again, it goes back to just practicing it daily, being gentle on yourself, and taking it one day at a time. Everything is always one day at a time because it's the only day that ever exists.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Man, and, just to note too, that in preparation of this, we also looked at all these, studies that done and on people that worked on positive self-talk and what it meant, what it did to them, personally, professionally, the people around them. Like, this is such a big deal. By the way, the PDF, which we will have once we finish the 7 segments. So we're going to release these sooner, but we're going to add the PDFs, or just send us a note and we'll send it to you now. But it'll have all those industry stats on productivity, happiness, the ripple effect on people that they, their families, people that they work with, and their clients, on the difference of actively practicing self-talk and journaling and some of the other things that we're going to share with you. But I hope you enjoy it now. If you want to talk to Jeremy, we have multiple life coaches. We have a female life coach, Becky. She's great. If you want to talk to one of us regarding self-talk or any of the other topics, please feel free to reach out. The initial, no obligation, no nothing. Let's talk. Any feedback, any thoughts on this, let us know. Jeremy,
Absolutely. No, just have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Take care.